Hare Krishna. Promagyantimirandasya jnanam-nashlavaya चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. Hare Krishna. So we were discussing how Dhruv Maharaj was feeling very remorseful that he still had that material desire. One is uh, that he wanted to have a kingdom, and second, he is more remorseful about he still had some ill feeling to his mother, stepmother Suruchi. And now we may ask a question: why Lord is so partial? Okay, she told him that you better you die, and Lord made her only die. So it looks like Lord is very much upset with Suruchi. Why did she tell Dhruva to die? And then Lord is telling, don't worry, you will not die, she will only die. So it looks like uh, too much partiality, right? And even Dhruva is also feeling bad. Like sometimes it happens like a small in the school, the child goes and complains about other student to the teacher, and teacher beats him very badly. Nowadays it does not happen beating, but previously they got beating, and that poor fellow is crying. And the boy who complained, he also feels bad. "Arey, why did I complain necessarily?" And others also come and tell him, "Why did you complain? See, he's crying." So he feels bad. So Dhruva is also feeling like that. "Arey, why did I kept this ill feeling towards my stepmother, poor woman? She's going to die after some time." And thing is like it does not happen anything by chance. So only thing is Lord is what happens for a living entity who commits offenses. The tendency to serve is gone. That is not good for the living entity. And maybe Suruchi, she comes, no, then she has a good relation with Dhruva. After that, we'll see now. And then after that also it is affecting her, whatever she did in the beginning long back. Dhruva forgave her, but still it is affecting. And this is how dangerous Vaishnava Prad is. We should be very careful not to keep any grudges. Even if we keep ill feeling towards a Vaishnava also, it will affect our bhakti. And we should be very careful with this here. Dhruva Maharaj is lamenting, why did I keep this grudge? And it is not worth. So this is one of the lesson Lord is trying to teach in this section of Bhagavatam. See, Dhruva Maharaj is feeling bad, so don't keep anything like that in the heart. It is not good for us. And here we'll see that Vidra is asking. Sri Vidra inquired. Yeah, this is what we have discussed. That Dhruva is feeling. Dhruva thought himself to endeavor to be situated in the shade of lotus feet of Lord is not an ordinary task because even the great brahmacharis headed by Sanandana, who practice Ashtanga Yoga and trance, attain the shelter of the Lord's lotus feet only after many, many births. Within 6 months, I achieved the same result. And due to my thinking differently from the Lord, I fell down from my position. So, this is what Lord is, Dhruva is lamenting. He's saying, अहो बत ममात्मात्मं मन्दभाग्यस्य पश्यते भवच्चिद्ध पादमूलं गत्वा याचे यद अन्तवत्. Alas, just look at me. I am so unfortunate. I approach the lotus feet of Supreme Personality of Godhead, who can immediately cut the chain of repetition of birth and death. But still, out of my foolishness, I prayed for things which are perishable. So here huge purport. Prabhupada writes the word Atma means the soul. Anamaya means without any conception of the soul. Srila Rishabdev instructs his sons that unless a human being comes to the point of understanding Atma or spiritual position, whatever he does is ignorance. And this brings only defeat in his life. This is actually the problem with the modern psychology solutions and all. People try to solve the problems of their life, but without this one understanding, the main understanding that we are not the body, spirit, soul. Without this proper understanding, we will not be able to do much. The solutions won't come. The same thing it is. Without conception of the soul, these are the instructions that unless a human being comes to the point of understanding the Atma or spiritual position, whatever he does is ignorance only, and thus brings only defeat in life. Dhruv Maharaj regrets his unfortunate position, for although he approached the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is always able to give his devotee the highest benediction of cessation of repetition of birth and death, which is impossible for any devotee to offer, he foolishly wanted something perishable. So when Hiranyakashipu asked immortality from Lord Brahma expressed his inability to offer such a benediction because he himself is not immortal. Therefore, immortality or complete cessation of chain of repeated birth and death can be offered by the Supreme Personality Godhead, not by others. Harim binana mrityum taranti. So Dhruva is lamenting that only what Hari can give I could have taken from him. He could have given something better. I came for something very less. So Prabhupada is writing here. It is said that without the blessings of Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, no one can stop the continuous chain of birth and death within the world, within this world. Therefore, so the Vaishnava philosophy is the process of Krishna consciousness, prohibits the devotee from all kinds of material aspirations. A Vaishnava devotee should always be Anyabhilashita Shunya, free from all material aspirations. Dhruv Maharaj was actually initiated by Narada Muni, the great Vaishnava, chanting Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva. This mantra is a Vishnu mantra. For by practicing the chanting of this mantra, one is elevated to Vishnu Loka. Dhruv Maharaj regrets that although he was initiated by a Vaishnava and that too in Vrindavan, he still aspires for material benefits. That was another cause for lamentation. Although he got the result of the Vishnu mantra by causeless mercy of the Lord, he lamented how foolish he was to have strived for material benefits. So we should also feel that regret that, oh, what am I doing? In other words, everyone of us who is engaged in devotional service in Krishna consciousness should be completely free from all material aspirations. Otherwise, we will have to lament like Dhruv Maharaj. So this is one of the important lessons from this chapter. Don't ask for material things. And even where asking material things, we should always have this feeling that actually I am not supposed to do it, but still, my dear Lord, because of conditioning, I'm asking. If you wish it is good, then only give. You add this line to it. Otherwise, it is not correct. We can ask Lord, but you also tell him that if it is good, for my devotion, it is good that because of which I can come closer to you, then only let it happen. Otherwise, I will cry and let it be. Let me cry. So if our desires are not fulfilled, we cry, we become morose. That's not actually a problem because we should know Lord is more intelligent than me and He knows what is best for me. So why to ask? We can desire something, but no need of so much lamentation. If it is not coming, maybe Lord is knowing that it is not good for us. That makes life very easy and simple. If it is not good for me, Lord will not give. If it is good for me, He will give. So why there is a question? If somebody is not doing the way we want, even that also we can attribute to the Lord's desire only. Maybe Lord don't want it like that. So I need not become upset on this person unnecessarily. We may be little bit upset, but after some time, at least we should come to this conscious instead of keeping grudges on that person and becoming angry, fighting, this, that. And especially in family life, this happens that there is always some misfortune that happens that, Arey, why this fellow did like this, why he spoke like that. No, no, no. Don't worry about it. It's all Krishna's arrangement like that. And that makes life very easy and simple. So here Dhruva Maharaj further says that since all the demigods who are situated in the higher planet system will have to come down again, they are all envious of my being elevated to Vaikuntha by devotional service. These intolerant demigods have dissipated my intelligence, and only for these reasons could I not accept the genuine benediction of instructions of sage Narada. So he is attributing for his uh, failure to demigods. Because, and that is, we'll see what Prabhupada says here. As shown by many instances in Vedic literature, when a person undergoes severe austerities, the demigods become very much perturbed because they are always afraid of losing their post as the predominating deities of heavenly planets. It is known to them that their position is high in the higher planet system is impermanent, as it is stated in Bhagavad Gita, Khine Punya Muttalokamis. It is said in Gita that after exhaustion of the results of the pious activities, the demigods come down. It is a fact that demigods control the different activities of the limbs of the body. Actually, we are not free even in moving our eyelids. Everything is controlled by them. Dhromara's conclusion is that these demigods, being envious of my superior position in devotional service, conspired against him to pollute his intelligence, and thus, although he was a disciple of great Vaishnava Narada Muni, he could not accept Narada's valid instructions. Now, Dhruva Maharaj regretted very much that he had neglected these instructions. Narada Muni had asked him, why should you bother about insults or adoration from your stepmother? He, of course, said to Dhruva that since Dhruva was only child, what did he have to do with such insults or adoration? But Dhruva Maharaj was determined to achieve benediction of Supreme Lord, and therefore Narada advised him to go back home for the time being, and in mature time he could try to practice devotional service. Dhruva regretted that he had rejected the advice of Narada Muni and was adamant in asking him for something perishable, namely revenge against his stepmother for her insult and possession of kingdom of his father. So these are the two things he was adamant. Prabhupada is very clearly writing. And Lord also pointed out the same thing. He was revenge and position of kingdom. So Dhruva Maharaj regretted very much that he could not take seriously the instruction of his spiritual master. That his consciousness was therefore contaminated. Still, the Lord is so merciful that due to Dhruva's execution of devotional service, he offered Dhruva the ultimate goal of Vaishnava. And now here the point is that demigods have control. They can pollute the intelligence. They can conspire against him to pollute his intelligence. So demigods have this power. They can do it also. And we can see in some cases they they do it. And if a person is very powerful, they cannot do. If a person is weaker, like all our human beings and all, they can definitely affect. And even like we see the parents, na, they can affect the intelligence of their children. Like a 2, 3 year old child is there, mother manipulates. Even 5, 6 year children also, parents manipulate them. They can change their intelligence. They have the power. Similarly, demigods will also have power. Suddenly, a person is uh, going to Himalayas to perform tapasya. So demigods can create some very nice environment in between. And he'll meet uh, some beautiful girl, and then he will get distracted in his path. He will marry and continue to. So that's actually what demigods do. Indra, especially, anybody is performing tapasya, immediately send some apsara, said, take care of him, but then everything is finished. So Dhruva is like maybe they might have done something, they tricked me and no, I got bewildered. So that's what Dhruva is upset. And because he didn't see any reason. He said, why I did not hear to my guru and why did I do it? He's lamenting. So one of the reason is that maybe demigods have done it. So it's not a blame game, but he's just calculating. Maybe because of demigods I am doing. Dhruva Maharaj lamented. I was under the influence of illusory energy, being ignorant of actual facts. I was sleeping on her lap under a vision of duality. I saw my brother as my enemy, and falsely I lamented within my heart, thinking they are my enemies. This is also a very nice point. Because of illusion, because of ignorance, we see the duality. Good, bad, all these things. Of course, we don't separately cultivate to come out of it. But as we become more and more Krishna conscious, these good bad concepts will start evaporating. We don't we don't see that because we're in mood of service. Then we don't have such a good bad situation. Any situation we have to serve only. And there is a question of good and bad. Now after the class, I have some other thing to serve. After that, another thing to serve. And then you are told, okay, you have to give class. So I'll serve by giving class. They said, no, you have to hear the class. Okay, I'll do the service of hearing the class. No, no, you have to cook. Okay, I'll do the service of cooking. So that means when I am always in a mood of service, there is no question of good and bad. Because any situation you have to serve only. You are here, you serve, you are there, you serve. So yeah, Sham Mukund Bro is telling Kali Yuga, people don't need any apsaras. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram are there. Yeah, that is true. So here the duality goes because duality is because of ignorance. When I become Krishna conscious, how the duality goes? Like no, this nowadays in cities and all, the marriages are not working in India. It is common in the West, but in India also it is not working because people's ignorance is increasing more and more. And what is happening is the programming is wrongly done. So yesterday I was talking to one psychiatrist and psychologist. She was giving a systematic study of why, what are the steps, how the break and everything happens in the marriage and all. The main reason that they don't understand is the whole concept of enjoyment only is wrong for them. We have to serve, and in service we experience pleasure. This concept is not explained only. Krishna is so clearly telling in the second, third, fourth chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Our happiness is in sacrifice, our happiness is in service. But you are giving a wrong definition of happiness, so then things become very bad. Even the demons of the previous ages, they know that we give charity to become happy, which is not known. Even Jarasandha was giving charity. Anyway, so Dhruva Maharaj lamented that this is because of influence of the. So for us, we want to get out of duality means become more Krishna conscious. That means we don't have good and bad. We always, any situation we serve. A person is sick, then he will, that time also he will serve. How he will serve? Okay, now I am sick, I cannot move around. I'll sit and hear and read and chat. If you are not sick, then we will do some other thing. So same thing. So real knowledge is revealed to a devotee only when he comes to the right conclusion about life by the grace of Lord. Our creation of friends and enemies within this material world is something like dreaming in at a night. In dreams, we create so many things out of various impressions in the subconscious mind. So the dream is because of impressions in the subconscious mind. But all such creations are simply temporary and unreal. In the same way, although apparently we are awake in material life, because we have no information of the soul and the super soul, we create many enemies, friends and enemies simply out of imagination. So the friends and enemies of the world which we are having is imagination only. So big imagination. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says that within this material world or material consciousness, good and bad are the same. The distinction between good and bad is simply a mental concoction. The actual fact is that all living entities are sons of God and byproducts of his marginal energy. Because of our being contaminated by modes of metal nature, we distinguish one spiritual spark from another. That is also another kind of dreaming. It is stated in the Bhagavad Gita that those who are actually learned do not make any distinction between a learned scholar, a Brahmana, an elephant, a dog, and a Chandala. They do not see in terms of external body, rather, they see the person as spirit soul. By higher understanding, one can know that the material body is nothing but a combination of five material elements. So this is what either material or spiritually we are basically one. We but we make friends and enemies as dictated by illusory energy. To get this realization is a very big achievement because always there is mine and others. So this distinction is there. Durmar therefore Divi Mayam Upashritya. The cause of his bewilderment was his association with illusory material energy. So first thing he said, maybe demigods did it. Then he said, no, this is maybe because of illusory energy. I did like this. So first reason he gives that it is unfortunate that I approve. First he says that I to endeavor to be situated in the shade of lotus feet of Lord is not an ordinary task because even the great brahmacharis headed by Sanandana, they also cannot get. And then he says that, oh, I am praying things which are perishable. No? Lord can cut the bonds of repetition of birth and death, but what am I doing? I am asking perishable things. Then he says, maybe this is because of demigod. So, and then he says, no, because of my association with illusory energy. And we'll see what he gives next. He says, it is very difficult to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But in my case, although I have satisfied the Supreme Super Soul of the whole universe, I have prayed only for useless things. My activities are exactly like a treatment given to a person who is already dead. Just see how unfortunate I am. For in spite of meeting Supreme Lord who can cut one's link with birth and death, I have prayed for the same condition again. So now he is comparing uh, his activities as a treatment to a dead person here. Sometimes it happens that devotees engage in loving service of the Lord for some material benefits in exchange for this service. This is not the proper way to discharge devotional service. Out of ignorance only, Dhruva Maharaj is again regretting. And this is a very nice instruction actually in one way for all of us. Prabhupada, like if you don't do, you'll also lament. Because of my state of complete foolishness and punity, paucity, paucity of pious activities, although the Lord offered me his personal service, I wanted material name, fame, and prosperity. My case is just like a poor man who, when he satisfied a great emperor who wanted to give him everything he might ask, out of ignorance, asked only a few broken grains of husked rice. So he is giving different comparisons. So in these words, Swarajyam, which means complete independence, is very significant. A conditioned soul does not know what complete independence is. Complete independence means situation in one's own constitutional position. The real independence of living entity is part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is to remain always dependent on the Supreme Lord, just like a child who plays in complete independence guided by his parents who watch over him. Like because what happens is once we come into this metal world, it's like a person falling into a drum of where is a sticky substance, tar or something, and he's completely mixed in that, or some what do you say, mud or something. Now he got so much used to it in living that for a long, 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 long time. We don't know that there is something free life without getting that sticky substance around. Like astronauts, they go to moon, they have some different type of suit. And if they stay in the moon with that suit for say 2, 3 years, and they get used to it, they don't know what they will forget what is free life without having this astronautical suit, like what we are free in. Similarly, we are stuck up in this body. We don't know what is free life. And we are used to this type of life and we think everything is fine only. No, it's not fine because of ignorance. We imagine like this. That is the problem. And Prabhupada is telling the independence of conditions does not mean to fight with the obstacles offered by Maya, but to surrender to Krishna. Such a nice point Prabhupada is telling. We should not fight, we should surrender to Krishna. So in material world, everyone is trying to become completely independent simply by fighting against the obstacles offered by Maya. This is called struggle for existence. Wow, such a Prabhupada makes such nice golden statements. Real independence is to be reinstated in the service of the Lord. Anyone who goes to Vaikuntha planet or Goloka Vrindavana planet is freely offering his service to the Lord. So there the freedom is there. Here now we are in a astronaut suit, which is very difficult to part with. That is complete independence. Just contrary to this material overlordship, which we wrongly take to be independent. Many great political leaders have tried to establish independence, but due to such so-called independence, the people's independence have now dependence have only increased. So that is the problem. Durumar regret that he wanted material opulence and great prosperity than that of his great grandfather, Lord Brahma. He begged for the Lord he begged from the Lord was like a poor man asking great emperor for a few grains of broken rice. The conclusion is that, very important, is that anyone who is engaged in loving devotional service of the Lord should never ask for material prosperity from the Lord. The awarding of material prosperity simply depends on the stringent rules of and regulations of external energy. Pure devotee asks the Lord only for the privilege of serving. See, this is the point. What we want is to always serve. Anything other than service, we will have to pay a big price. This is our real independence. If you want anything else, it is a sign of our misfortune. So what is the only thing we want is service. Not how many houses we have, how many children we have, how many bank balance we have, how much famous we are. Even Dhruva is also regretting that, oh, I asked for name, fame, and all these things. So we don't need all these things. What we need is opportunity to serve. Okay. Thank you very much. Any questions, comments? We'll end here. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada.